Hey, how's it going, guys? Shaggy from the Order of Mithril here. Today we're going to do another random review, and this time we're going to take a look at a very cool title called Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden. So this game is going to be a tactical turn-based game, and it was developed by a Swedish studio, The Bearded Ladies. It's based actually on a tabletop game called Mutant Year Zero. Now, I'm not too familiar with the tabletop game, but I am familiar with turn-based tactical games like XCOM, so this game was right up my alley from the very beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the gameplay on this one. Now, like I've mentioned before with XCOM, it's a turn-based tactical game, so there's nothing really surprising for you if you've played games like that before. It does seem like it has its own little nuances here and there, and maybe some of these things are in other titles like this, but I feel like they flesh some of these little niche areas out a little bit better. As you can tell right here in the video that's being displayed right now, I encountered a much higher difficulty level enemy. So the best option for me to do is to sneak around. So all these missions take place indoors or at night, and so it's really dark, so you have a flashlight. When you turn off the flashlight and you crouch, you move a little bit slower so that you can escape little situations like this. Or, if you want, you can scout out an area that you know enemies are in. So if you pay attention, you'll notice that there are some times where there's 5 guys held up in one spot, but there are 2 of them that patrol around. They get closer to the other ones, then they move away. If you play it right, you can actually sneak up on them while they're further away and take them out with silent weapons like, say, Duckman's crossbow or silenced pistols if you found silencers for your weapons. So that, I felt, was a little bit different than games like, say, XCOM. Yeah, in the XCOM series, you had a little bit of that, but I don't feel like they put a lot of effort into it like they did in this title. As with any title like this, you're going to have those moments where you have, say, a 75% hit chance and you're going to miss. Or you're going to have like a 20% hit chance and you're still going to hit and it's going to be a critical. Those things are going to pop up in titles like this, but I really feel like the difficulty was scaled a little differently in this one as opposed to a game like XCOM. I don't feel like it was extremely much harder than, say, XCOM, but I do feel like there was a difficulty curve that I wasn't expecting, but I enjoyed it throughout. Something else that sticks out to me about the gameplay that kind of feeds into the narrative is you're in a post-apocalyptic world and you're scrounging for anything that you could find to keep what's known as the Ark going, which is this, city, town. It's where a lot of humanity has huddled to survive. You don't feel like you're sitting there trying to research upgrades for your units, your characters, whatever have you. You're actually trying to scrounge and find them. Now, there are some points in time in the game where you can buy upgrades and new weapons, and that's all fine and well, but there's still this essence that you are looking for everything that you're going to be able to use, and I felt that the mixture of narrative and gameplay fit really well into this. So I was enjoying that because it was not an easy, well, here, you can just research this upgrade. It was very much you have to find it. With that mention of narrative, we're actually going to go ahead and get into that part of this review now. So, like I said, you're in a post-apocalyptic world. You're dealing with these weird guys out here that are, I'm assuming, cannibals and robots and whatever else you come across out here. Stray dogs that have been mutated as well are something that pop up kind of frequently. But you're a stalker and you're just trying to find whatever you can to keep the Ark going. And now there's one stalker that's better than the rest on the Ark named Hammond. And so he has a belief in this place called Eden, where supposedly everybody lives and is happy and they're not concerned about trying to find scrap or being killed by these crazy cannibals out in the world, out in the dead zone. And you're chasing him down, you're looking for leads as to what's happened to him, and you end up running into this robot army that just is trying to take you out even more hardcore than these cannibals that you seem to keep running into. but it's got a couple twists and turns throughout the story that I really enjoyed. I don't feel like there was a dead moment in the narrative from beginning to end. The story kept me engaged along with the gameplay, and I think that's something that's very important. If you have solid gameplay but no good story, you might be able to get away with that. But if you have, crappy gameplay and crappy story, nobody's going to play your game. But I think that they really pulled off a good job of having both good gameplay and good narrative in this title. Looking into the graphics, I absolutely loved the way this game looked from beginning to end. Yes, it's a very dark environment no matter where you're at in the world, but I really felt that, leaned into the ambiance from the narrative that it's a post-apocalyptic world. As you can tell here, I'm in the woods, and the fog that's just laying on the ground adds to the ambiance, but it doesn't take away from what you're seeing on the battlefield. Another thing, if you look at the building here, you can see light pouring out of the doorway and the window from the light source inside, and the campfire on the ground throws off just enough of a warm glow to illuminate the area immediately around it, but it's not overbearing. Another thing that really caught my attention throughout was, so it's a post-apocalyptic world, and now nature has come back in and started to reclaim things from humanity. Like looking at the house, you can see all the vines and stuff growing all over it. The roof is starting to cave in from, no repairs being done to it, and God knows how long. Cars and other metal objects have become rusted. Tires have rotted off of them. I really enjoyed the way that they made the narrative be applied throughout the graphics. And I don't think that it's too cartoony of an appearance for what they supplied here. I feel like it's just right. It's got enough of a serious look, but yes, you are playing two characters on this screen right now that are obviously mutated humans to look like a boar and a duck, but I don't think that that takes away from the appeal of the game. I actually feel like it adds to it. I feel like the fidelity of everything that is displayed on the screen while you're playing shines pretty good. I would not have anything negative to say about the graphics on this title at all. Starting into the audio, this is where the review gets kind of odd for me. And I say that because I like the voice acting that's done throughout the title, from the main characters, the enemies that you're going to be fighting against, the way that guns and explosions sound. I like all of that, even down to the small details of whenever you're walking through an environment, you can hear the soft footsteps of your characters. The thing that gets me about the audio is it doesn't seem like the music is ever present. I feel like it should be there, adding to the ambience of sneaking through an area or being in battle, but it kind of feels like they put that to the side. And I don't know if that's because they're wanting the lack of music to drive home a little bit more drama. That could be what they were trying to do with it. But I was expecting some kind of accompanying soundtrack to go with it throughout the entirety of the title that was, how could I say, a little bit more present, a little, not so much in your face, but in the room with everything. And so I kind of feel like that may have been the weak spot of this title. Now, if it was because they didn't want to have music to push home a little bit more of a on-edge feeling throughout the title, then great. They succeeded in that. But I was expecting something a little different, and it may just be my expectations falling short of what was actually delivered. Other than that, I feel like everything else that was supplied for audio purposes throughout the title was great. It was spot on. Wouldn't change any of that. And I really would like to have a little bit of clarification on the music situation. So if somebody watching this video knows about that, go ahead and jump down in the comment section for me and let me know that that was indeed what they were trying to go for. Another more specific point to gameplay, which I probably should have mentioned earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now, is difficulty. And the difficulty, I feel, scales not on an easy ramp up. It does have its moments where it feels like it kind of takes a sharp jump, but I wouldn't say that that is a bad factor for the game.
I'm not kidding around.
I mean, I come from the day and age where playing games, when you completed them, that was the achievement. You didn't need something to pop up and tell you that you unlocked 10 gamer score. So I really enjoyed how it went from point A to point B, but it was a lot sharper than what you would probably be expecting. I enjoyed every bit of having a good game running through one level and then going into the next level and having my butt kicked on numerous attempts. I enjoyed that. I mean, it showed me that the game was there to actually challenge me, which I enjoyed. I mean, I don't want a game that just hands me a win every time I load it up. That's no fun. So I really enjoyed how the difficulty scaled in this one. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this thought, but a game should have at least some level of replayability to it nowadays. I'm not a mega moogle. I don't get to just throw away $65 like I'm just blowing my nose. So if I buy a game, I want it to be something that's going to grab my attention, that's going to make it worthwhile to go back and revisit that game at least 2 or 3 times. So I honestly feel like Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden supplies that. I mean, you can pick it up at easy or normal and then put it up to hard, and not even just increase in the difficulty level to give yourself another reason to go back and play it. If you've played it and you've gotten good at it by the end of the game, but you kind of had a rocky start, maybe you could go back to the beginning with everything that you've now learned and do the beginning a little bit better and set yourself up for an even better finish to the game. I really enjoyed this title. I've played through it 4 times now and can honestly say that I'm not disappointed in any of my playthroughs. Alright, all things considered, even with, in my opinion, the low point of the music, I'm going to go ahead and give this game a must play, especially if you're into turn-based or tactic-style games that are out on the market right now. If you're into things like XCOM or even the new Gears of War Tactics, I would recommend that you pick this up and play it. I feel like it has engaging gameplay and a great narrative. And also, if you're on Xbox and have Xbox Game Pass, you can pick it up and play it for free right now. Now, it still has a decently high selling point for a game that's been out for 2 years of $34.99 on Steam, but I honestly feel that it's worth every penny that you would put into it. Before I close out this video today, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to one of my gaming group's members, Kevin Brown, who actually asked for this review to be done. So, Kevin, appreciate you giving me the recommendation. But with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thanks for stopping by the channel, and you guys have a great one.